This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
And this is Kyrsten Leister at burger_lurker on Twitter.
And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast.
That was cute. I like it.
It was good. I know. I'm adorable. I know. Welcome to the Obsessive Viewer. We're a movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show each episode. You can find more of our work at ObsessiveViewer.com, more of our podcasts at that's not it. At ObsessiveViewer.com/podcasts. I'm not even going to edit that. And you can also like us on Facebook and join the Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And you can also follow me on Letterboxd at ObsessiveViewer and my other two co-hosts, Obsessive Tiny and I am Mike White. Yeah, and finally, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer at the minimum rate of $1 per month for an exclusive RSS feed with content recorded specifically for Patreon supporters. Those recordings are a lot of fun to do, even when the person you're recording with will go ahead and just completely change the parameters of a hypothetical.
Spoilers! Stop.
No, okay. Okay, so I'm your host, the aforementioned Matt Hurt, and with me today is recurring co-host Kyrsten Leister, making her first podcast appearance of 2019. Kyrsten.
Yes.
What the hell? It's May 4th.
Okay, do you want to do this now?
No.
You're not my priority.
No.
I know. Ouch. You started this.
You've had a stressful day.
You started this. No, I had a great day. It was fun.
I know it is. Thank you. It's been an okay day.
I had tacos. That was nice. I had ice cream. That was great.
You stole a blanket.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm taking it with me.
Further divided my relationship with my cat.
You did that all on your own.
She has never hissed at me.
You're lying. You're a liar.
No.
Yes.
She hissed at me once, but it's not related. Anyway, so today on the podcast, we have lost everyone. For
those of you who are still with us.
Yes. We're actually going to be talking about stuff. Let's see, we did episodes 4 and 5 of each show. Okay, so what we are going to do is we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. First of all, we're going to do a main review of I have it here. No, I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to read it. I'm going to try to say it. The new film that just arrived on Netflix. This is a couple weeks. It's going to go up in a couple weeks, so it's a couple weeks old. But extremely evil.
Wrong.
Extremely vile. No. Extremely wicked. Extremely cruel. Hang on.
You got it. Come on.
Extremely cruel.
No. If this was an exam, you would have failed.
I know.
Do you want me to?
Yes, please.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Okay.
Am I right? Check it. Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Yes, you are correct.
Boom.
Starring Zac Efron, and people that Kyrsten knows.
Yeah. I have famous friends.
Other people. Yeah, Jim Parsons.
No.
No. Just other people.
Lily
that are
Collins.
In the movie. Yeah, Lily Collins.
Taya Scolario.
Yeah.
Haley Joel Osment.
Yes.
We go way back.
No, we're going to talk about that. It's the Ted Bundy movie. And then we're also going to talk about a bunch of stuff. I'm so excited to have you on the podcast because you're a woman.
I have womanly ways.
Yes. And we haven't talked on mic about Captain Marvel, you and I. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited for that.
It's been several weeks.
It has.
So keep that in mind.
Yes. If this review of Captain Marvel is an exam, then you might fail.
You don't know that.
I don't know. Well,
I might do very well.
Yeah.
My memory recall is very strong.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, and you have not seen Endgame yet, so I'm not going to spoil it.
I haven't.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that at a later date. We also have a bunch of other stuff, but couple of news and items and stuff. Kyrsten, you were in 2 shows.
I was. I've been 3 shows because Almost Maine was.
Oh, I forgot about Almost Maine. That was a really good one. I really liked that one.
It was a really good show.
Yeah.
It's beautifully written, first of all. So got that going for us.
Yeah.
But then also we had a fantastic director, just a wonderful production staff, and the cast was very strong, and worked well together. So everything just kind of coalesced into a very good performance.
And it really showed through.
Thank you.
To the audience. It was a lot of fun. I told you that was one of, if not my favorite of your performances and stuff.
Definitely one of my favorite shows I've worked on recently. So yeah.
And it's an established play. It's not like a local playwright, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. John Carliani? I think he's a nationally renowned playwright.
And I'm sure he's a listener to the podcast. So.
Well, sure. Hi, John.
Yeah. Hi. Okay. Well,
what
anyway.
if he is? Like, that'd be crazy.
That would
He's
be
like,
awesome.
oh, they're talking about me.
Oh, they're talking about me. Patreon. So.
John Carliani, if you're listening, tweet us.
Yes.
Let us know.
Right. So that was fun. Then your other two shows were Amused, and Who's Minding the Snapper?
Yeah.
You want to talk about that? Like, okay, legitimately, like, I'm not, like, this is not, like, a joke or anything. I genuinely have no idea how you can do two shows at one time, sometimes in the same day.
Yeah, so these were, it's part of an annual festival called Diva Fest, which is, it's celebrating local female playwrights. So a lot of these, a lot of them are new playwrights. So a lot of these shows were, premieres. And I was fortunate enough to be cast in two different shows. So, they had staggered performances, so I didn't have to worry about the performances, but for the rehearsal process, I was in back-to-back rehearsals. Sometimes I had two rehearsals in one night, and I would just go back-to-back. And I won't do it again.
Yeah.
It was very stressful.
Because on top of that, you're also
I work full-time, and I'm a full-time student, so it's just, there were a couple weeks where I was, like, on the brink of, like, a nervous breakdown, because there just weren't enough hours in the day to get everything done, and it was really hard. I'm glad it's over, but there were some days where I had two shows in one day, and they were 1 hour shows, so that isn't a lot, but just everything together.
Yeah, because, like, usually you're, like, the full length shows that you're in there are, like, what, like 90 to 2 hours?
Yeah.
And like I was thinking about that after, because I went to one of the days where you had two performances.
Yeah.
And I didn't tell you a story about in between the two. I'll tell you that off mic.
Yeah, you had like we went and got food, and then we went and got frozen yogurt, and then I had to be at the theater early because we had to set up, and I had to get into costume and makeup and everything.
Yes.
And so you had like half an hour to kill by yourself.
It was
and I
like
wonder
45 minutes.
Was it? Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it was fine.
But that was sarcastic because I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, that 15 minutes really makes a difference.
Right.
But like I like to imagine that was like a filler episode. It was like Matt's little adventure, Like if anyone,
and it wasn't. I'll go ahead and tell the story. But go ahead.
If anyone knows Avatar: The Last Airbender, Appa's Lost Days, like it would be like those episodes. There's a couple people chuckling right now at home.
I'm sure that there are. So on that, okay, I will go ahead and tell the story because it's not that embarrassing or anything. So we'd gotten food and ice cream and stuff, and then I went to my car to get my earbuds because I was like, I'll listen to some podcasts, and then I went to Yats and I got a drink. It was really nice because the guy working there was just like, oh, I'm not going to charge you for the drink, so no. Nice. But
he just felt so bad for you.
But I had a traumatic experience that I used the restroom there. Let me put it this way. Do you remember that episode of The Office where Jim and Pam are going to the daycare?
Oh my god, and he walks in
that happened
on a grown man using the child's toilet. Yeah.
Only it wasn't a child's toilet in my case, but it was like I had thought that I'd locked the door.
Oh, no.
And, like, I was sitting there just listening to my podcast, and just, like...
just listening to the sound of my own voice.
Exactly. I do that way more than I,
jerking it.
Hey! Okay. I did not jerk off in a Yats bathroom listening to my own podcast. I have a sense of propriety.
Someone soundbite that, please. Cut out the did not.
Oh, yeah. Well... Anyway, that's terrible. So I was so certain that I had locked the door and I didn't, and someone like walked in, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, because like, what won't, like, that's the only thing you can say.
Someone's in here. Someone's in here. You turn into John Mulaney.
Yes.
Someone's in here.
Yeah, so that was an experience, and then,
that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing. Yeah. How embarrassing for you.
It was, at that point I was like, whatever.
What do I have to lose?
Exactly.
Take a good long look.
So 2 shows, that was you did well in both of them. I really liked both of them, and that's what I was getting at. So usually, like you said, like they're both like hour-long performances. And
excuse me, everybody, I have a cold.
Yes, it's been all day.
How do you think I feel?
I have had perfect pitch and perfect diction.
What do I care about your pitch and your diction? What do you?
Because they're not interrupted by. Anyway, so 2 hours is what your usual shows are, but like what I kept wrestling with or thinking about after seeing you perform in 2 plays in one day, and like you said, they weren't back to back. Like there were a few.
Yeah,
hours
I had time between each performance.
Yeah. But I kept thinking, like on one hand, I was like, well, that's all told, like it's the same amount of time that she spent on stage in a given show or whatever. But like I don't like what I'm grappling with is like. I don't know how you like differentiate, because like, okay, like in Amused, you were portraying a woman who had a kind of tragic past, who is
trying to start a new
life, repair a broken relationship, all while experiencing this
bizarre supernatural
event in her apartment. And then, who's minding the snapper? You're an Irish priest.
Dim-witted male Irish priest.
So yeah, I don't know. Does that ever like come up like when you have like situations like that where it's like, oh.
We would joke backstage during Amused, like, okay, so, the actor who played Ryan, who was my character's fiance.
Right.
It was his first show ever.
That's right.
And he did a fantastic job. But he was so nervous before every show. Yeah. And so we would joke around with him and try and like, help him relax. And we were like, the worst thing you could do is go on stage, just shit your pants, vomit, and run. Like, that's, as long as you don't do that, we'll be okay, Right. That's the worst thing. And he was so scared he was gonna shit his pants. He's like, is that a thing that happens?
That was my question. In all of your years in theater, have you ever witnessed something that
No. I will tell you, when I was in college, I was in a show called The Good Person of Szechuan, and I was playing the lead character, and
you shit your pants.
It was a near thing, because, it's
Scoop!
I can't get into Bertolt Brecht. He's an absurdist playwright. He has songs in his shows, but he doesn't write musicals. They're in a traditional musical. The music it's supposed to be like the character is so full of emotion. The only way you can get it out is by singing,
right.
And it immerses you in the world of the play. Brecht pulls the audience away, makes them realize that they are watching a show constantly. He's a very particular absurdist playwright. But so there are songs that are very disjointed and jarring in his shows.
Okay,
I was playing the lead character. I had a song all to myself. I had to sing. I'm not a confident singer.
We have covered this.
Yeah, I'm so not interested in I love musical theater, but it's not something that I am going to do. Yeah. And it was very hard for the musical director of the show to get me to the point where I was singing in front of a 500-person audience with no microphone. It was the last moment before intermission, so it's a big moment. I'm backstage by myself because everyone else is down in the dressing room because they're done for the first act, and I swear to God, I'm backstage like, I'm going to shit my pants. Like, I was so scared every night. And I got through it. I did it.
Yeah.
But one of my proudest moments is
not shitting your pants.
Yes. But so all of that to say, so we're talking to Grant, and helping him, relax and everything. And I'm like, the worst thing I could do is go out on stage and start talking in an Irish accent, because that's what I do in the other show. But I had people from work who came to the shows, and they were like, do you ever like start saying the lines of the other show? And it's like, no, I don't, because they're very different. The tones of the play are so different. The characters are so different.
Yeah.
And one thing that I find easy to do when I'm acting is to immerse myself in the world of the show.
Right.
And they're totally disconnected. Like, I would never be afraid that I would start saying the lines of another show. You looked like you had a very profound point to make.
What I was going to say was...
Excuse me, my diction...
Please finish your thought, because it sounded like you're saying my dick. But go ahead.
My diction is perfect. And then you come out here with your...
What I was going to say was... Basically, oh yeah, I understand. Nothing profound. But I do want to say that, going back to the story about, when you were in college.
And I almost pooped my pants?
Yeah. It sounds like you were able to check yourself before you wrecked yourself.
Well, I think that about wraps it up, you guys.
All right, see you in 2020 on the podcast.
Maybe. Like, even pizza looks disappointed in you.
She really does.
Angry.
I'm actually going to take a picture of her right now, and I'm going to put this picture in the...
And you guys will see. This is what she looks like in this very moment.
Check the show notes of this episode. I'm not kidding. Go to obsessiveviewer.com/OV, whatever number this is, and you will see a picture of my cat looking at me in total disapproval of that stupid fucking joke. Anyway, so congratulations on the plays and stuff.
Thank you.
And you do have a Fringe show that you're going to be in.
Yeah, that
in August.
Yeah, not until August, so that's a couple months away, which is nice because I get a little bit of a break now, and I can record episodes for the podcast.
Right.
Still not my priority.
Well, it's Lost as your priority, and
I am really enjoying Lost.
Nice. I am. We'll get to that. Okay. We'll get to that.
So I have in another annual festival, the Indie Fringe Theater Festival.
Yes.
I'll be in. The working title is Winterbeard, and that may end up changing, and I'll let you know if it does. But it is a Father Ted Game of Thrones parody. And Father Ted, if anyone doesn't know it, you can watch the entire series on YouTube. It's a very funny Irish comedy. With the past couple shows I've been in have been tributes based on Father Ted.
And I have enjoyed them so much.
It's a very funny show. If you like Clerical Error Productions. If you like Monty Python, you will like Father Ted.
And I believe that Father Ted is also on Amazon Prime.
Great.
I think.
Great. It's a very funny show. Check it out.
Yeah. So I'm really excited for that. So cool.
Should be good.
I've got nothing going on, so, about it.
Thanks for squeezing me in between all that nothing.
Well, as I said at work, I have very high priorities.
Very much priorities.
Very much. My diction is perfect. No, I spend my days at work daydreaming about pizza and second guessing every decision I make at work. So yeah,
it sounds just like you.
Yes, exactly.
By the way, you're fired. So
you do not have hiring and firing power over me.
You don't know what I do. Well, I just got a promotion.
Yeah, you did. Congratulations. Yes.
Thanks. That was my subtle way of
Yeah, I know. We all know what you just did.
Yeah.
I got.
Shall we move on?
Yes, we should. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff we have to cover. Yeah. For the two people still listening, we've been dicking around
for quite a bit.
We have been dictioning around a lot.
We should buckle down.
Yes. So there is no way to transition to this, and this is going to be a couple weeks old by the time you guys are hearing this. But I do want to just mention that sadly, Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca in the Star Wars films, passed away on April 30th. I'll put a link in the show notes to this, but his family released a statement that was just beautifully written. It's a very long tribute to him, saying there's a lot of stuff in there that's just about how kind of a person he was, and it doesn't feel like this. I mean, obviously, since it's coming from his family, it doesn't feel like just eulogizing for the sake of visibility on the internet in a sea of eulogies. But this just felt so just genuine. And I was telling you, Kyrsten, before we were recording that he was like I would come across his comments on Reddit and just random posts, and he just seemed like such a genuine good person, and just sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Yeah. But but we're recording this on May the 4th, so Star Wars Day, I guess, and Free Comic Book Day. But yeah, I have no way to transition out of this. So Detective Pikachu.
All right.
Yes. R.I.P. Peter Mayhew. Mayhew the Force be with Mayhew.
That's insensitive.
It's not insensitive. It's paying tribute to the man. Yeah. Well, you know.
So Detective Pikachu, we're seeing it next week.
Yes. Are we? Because we're also seeing Endgame next week.
Didn't we?
We bought tickets to Endgame. Didn't we? Did you?
Didn't we buy tickets to Detective
No,
Pikachu?
we bought tickets to Endgame.
Did we?
Yes. I did at least.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
I don't remember what happens from day to day. Oh, it was Endgame. Yeah. I haven't seen Endgame yet.
Yes.
Didn't we talk about seeing Detective Pikachu?
We did. Well, what happened was we were having lunch and we talked about seeing Endgame because this weekend it was sold out pretty much. Yeah. And so and
Wednesday we're seeing Palm.
Yes. Which, by the way, I think I'm excited for that because I'm gonna bring all this here. So like in the car afterwards, we can do like a quick 20-minute.
We'll see.
Recording.
It's a Wednesday night.
Well, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll have to figure out what to do for food though. Like popcorn or something. I don't know. Or dinner. No.
But I didn't we talk about seeing Detective Pikachu?
We did
though?
because after we bought tickets to Endgame. You had mentioned something about Detective Pikachu. I was like, "Oh yeah, that comes out next weekend too."
Oh, okay. I got it mixed up. Well, we're seeing it at some point. I really want to see it. I'm a big Pokemon fan.
Yeah, yes, you are, as stated previously on the podcast. Yeah. How's your current? Like, have you been able to play any?
Yeah,
Pokemon?
a little bit. Yeah, I'm doing good. I got one more gym to defeat in the region, and then I'm gonna go take on the Elite Four.
Oh, of course.
I'm replaying the Gen 2 Pokemon Crystal game, so it's great. It's bringing back a lot of memories.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Cool. But yeah, Detective Pikachu looks amazing, and we're gonna talk a little bit about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Detective Pikachu first.
Well. Yeah, well, I'll get to my stupid joke later. But Detective Pikachu, the trailers look great. Like, everything.
I mean, really, the animation looks beautiful.
It looks amazing.
So we've talked about when the trailer first dropped. We talked a little bit about source material, and I said I knew that there was like a video game or something, but I didn't know much about it. So I did a little more research, and Detective Pikachu was again, it was released for like the Nintendo 3DS or something in 2016 in Japan. And it didn't get released in America until, like May of 2018, March or May of 2018. So pretty recently. And same basic plot. This character named Tim Goodman, his father goes missing. His father is a detective, so he goes to Rhyme City, which interestingly enough is not a city in any Pokemon games, in any of the regions.
Okay.
So I wonder, it'd be cool if they tied it in to the actual, like, game universe.
Right.
But he goes to Rhyme City and he starts to investigate his father's case, and he runs into a Pikachu who speaks English. And the game is apparently very cutscene heavy, like over 3 hours worth of cutscenes if you compile them all together, which is basically a long movie.
Right.
And do you mind? Am I boring you?
Yeah, you are. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so we'll go into the mechanics of the game now.
Yes. Okay.
I'll read off the entire production credits.
Oh God.
So in the Japanese version of the game, very comically, Pikachu was voiced by a voice actor who has a very deep voice, and it's just funny because he's Pika Pika, and then this deep voice for when he actually talks. And so before the game was translated into English, people were like speculating who could possibly be cast as the voice of Pikachu if it were to be translated to English, and people decided Danny DeVito was going to be the perfect Pikachu.
That's so weird.
Well, I think they thought of like who's like got the most opposite voice you could possibly think, and it's obviously Danny DeVito.
Yeah,
and so people like took like video from the game and like dubbed over Danny DeVito's voice. And so when they made this Detective Pikachu live movie, they actually tapped Danny DeVito to play the voice of Pikachu, and he actually recorded dialogue. They have this footage. I'm hoping to God they release it at some point, but Danny DeVito wasn't very invested in the project. He didn't know what a Pokemon was. So Ryan Reynolds, I think, is a very good choice.
Yeah.
But we did watch, someone made a fan trailer, and they took a lot of Danny DeVito's dialogue as Frank from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and put it over the footage from the Detective Pikachu movie, and it was really funny.
It was great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And as you said, I would watch that movie.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. Gotta stay hydrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
I should have refilled my water bottle, but I can't now. It's too late. I have to scratch my eye. This is all getting cut.
Okay. Is that good?
Yeah. God, that felt so good. Anyway.
So.
God, that felt so good. I did not jerk off in a bathroom at Yats.
Listening to my own voice.
Listening to my own voice.
That's a key.
Yes.
It's a key thing in there that you left out.
I sure did.
Okay.
For
reasons. Okay, so Detective Pikachu looks great. Sonic looks horrible.
It really does. And did you notice, like, there was a lot of backlash over the animation style of Sonic?
Well, and there should be, because they tried to make him too human-like, and it really just, it crosses, in my opinion, it crosses the line into the Uncanny Valley, where he's just human enough, but not quite human, and it looks disturbing, especially the teeth.
Yes.
The teeth were gross.
It's funny because I've only seen this trailer once.
Yeah. But it's burned in your head. It's like in your memory.
Thing. It's kind of not. Like,
you're one of the lucky ones.
But I've seen, like, the pictures and stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, now that I think about it, that did look really just off.
Yeah.
But I think it was just sensory overload for me, because it was like, why is Gangster's Paradise played? Like, why?
Weird Al tweeted, he was like, I don't appreciate that they used a parody of Amish Paradise in the Sonic movie. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, that's
Weird
great.
Al, you get him.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Which I found, like, apparently Coolio, when Amish Paradise came out, was like, I don't appreciate there being a parody of my song. But anyway, that, and then just the comedy just did nothing for me.
Yeah.
There was one part in it where I was like, okay, nostalgia, that's kind of cool. And that was just in the, like, stupid, like, tagline things that play throughout it. So, like, it says,
every hero has its genesis.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's kind of cute, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But I mean, I feel like the design from the video games, like, why couldn't they have just done that?
Yeah.
Why did they try and make him look so human?
That's the thing. They've come out and said, like, okay, well, we're gonna redo this before it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, it's
here's the thing. I'm hoping that they push the release date back, because CGI is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And I hope that they don't try to rush this and work the animators to the point of exhaustion to get this done on time. That would be really, I mean, it's just a movie, guys.
Yeah, exactly. But my kind of thing is that, like, okay, well, like, they came out and said, like, oh, we're going to redesign it. It's going to look fine. But I'm like, that's not the issue I had with it. Like,
yeah, also, it doesn't look like a good movie.
Good. It does not look entertaining.
It really doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean, I saw someone who speculated on the internet that, like, this is the setup for, like, a Super Smash Brothers, like,
shared universe.
Yeah. Like, look out, MCU.
That's one of my favorite, like,
here comes Smash Bros.
Things.
And they're gonna destroy it.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite is just to imagine that, like, shared universes exist outside of, like, the big ones. So, like, every new movie's like, oh, this is going to be a shared universe.
They're all tied in.
Yeah.
Every single movie ever made. They're all tied in.
Oh, yeah. Like, okay, perfect example. Okay, it's so stupid and it's so niche, but, after Pet Sematary, like, my joke was, like, oh yeah, it's crazy because after the credits, you just see, Church, the cat, walking into, like, a house, and then suddenly you hear, like, rustling behind him, and there's a Saint Bernard, and he's like, hey, Church, you just stepped into a world where you don't understand. There's a bigger world out there, basically implying that there's going to be a shared universe of Stephen King animal movies, because it's Saint Bernard's Cujo.
Yeah.
Sadly, that wasn't the case.
And then a car pulls up and is like, honk, honk.
Exactly.
And they're like, oh, you.
Yep. Oh, God. But anyway, the thing that I thought about after seeing the Sonic the Hedgehog...
The thing you thought?
The thing I thoughted was that, okay, between Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, this is kind of whatever, I could make a joke. Anyway, 2019 is a big year for furries. Which, yeah, so...
I think the furries maybe want to distance themselves from the Sonic movie.
Actually, it was the biggest year for furries since Zootopia came out. Yeah.
That's probably true, though.
Yeah, which I saw in the theater by myself.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, that's not weird. While wearing a tail. Jim Carrey looks good.
Yeah, I guess.
I think he looks good. I mean, he's good for the role, but
he looks like animated.
Like I said earlier, the character is called Eggman, and
Eggman,
he's the Eggman.
Yeah,
we are.
He's Eggman,
the Eggman. But he's not remotely egg shaped at all.
He looks like the literally twirling mustache.
It would be very difficult to find someone who is shaped like an egg because people are not egg shaped generally. So, I think he's a good. I think he's a good pick. I think he's. Yeah, I think he's good.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's probably gonna carry that whole freaking movie.
He'll probably Jim carry the whole movie. All right, another picture of pizza.
She just looks disinterested now.
Yeah.
It's like my standards cannot be lower, and still you disappoint me.
It's like she has her back to you, sort of. Anyway, so yeah, Jim Carrey and whatever. I like at the beginning of this year, I would have said like, oh, I'll probably end up seeing it because of A-List and everything. But like, I have not been watching enough movies like lately. Not to point fingers or anything, but like you've been so busy and
stop pointing at me.
I'm not pointing at you.
You're pointing right at me.
Yeah, I actually was. But get her pizza.
No reaction.
Yeah, well, that's fine. We're so connected, she and I. Yeah, so anyway,
you haven't been seeing movies because of me.
Because of you. And yeah, so
because without me, you just have nothing going on.
Well, I have a lot of stuff going on. But yeah, I just don't
name two things. Just name two things.
Anthology.
No,
you
cannot list the podcast.
School and loving my little baby.
Okay, that's a full-time job right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'm a full-time cat dad. Yeah, it's the hardest job in the world. Anyway, Detective Pikachu looks good. I'm excited to see it eventually. After Endgame, which we got tickets for the 5-something showing of Endgame.
Yeah, like 5:45.
Yeah, which that's a good time because the movie's 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll figure that out. Next up, I want to get, speaking of Endgame, it's been a while, but Captain Marvel, Fekis and I reviewed it on the podcast and lamented the fact that we're both men.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And I did
horrible for you.
Yeah, I know. Well, no, I like being a man. Yeah. But, hey, anyway, I'm just gonna breeze past that. I did not jerk off in a Yat's bathroom to the sound of my own voice while listening to my own voice. Anyway,
I think he doth protest too much.
I dothn't. Oh God, that's a reference to something. Like, I know what like that. Anyway, I just plagiarized a movie. Anyway.
Oh.
But
please don't sue us.
Yes.
If you're gonna sue anyone, sue him.
No. Anyway, Captain Marvel.
What I said was public domain, so.
Oh, yes. Well, that's true. So, what did you think of Captain Marvel? And yeah, what were your thoughts on Captain Marvel?
I thought it was really well done.
Mm-hmm.
It was entertaining. It was empowering.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Carol Danvers. Mm-hmm. She was so snarky. And her partnership with Fury was amazing.
Yes.
I love the little Flurkin.
Mm-hmm.
I could have used more Coulson.
Yeah.
Because I love Coulson. I just adore him. And I just could have used more little young Coulson.
Mm-hmm.
What did we say?
Nice.
We could watch like a buddy cop movie with Fury and Coulson, like with Coulson being a rookie at S.H.I.E.L.D. and learning the ropes from Fury. I would totally watch that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, it would, the budget would be insane because they would have to CGI them.
Yeah. Have you been keeping up with the Disney Plus news and stuff?
Not really.
Okay, well, in like November 13th-ish.
In like November 13th?
In like November 13th. Perfect diction.
In the day of November 13th.
Inside the hours of November 13th, there will be released a new streaming service from Disney called Disney Plus. It's going to be like $6.99. They're coming out of the gate with all 30 seasons of The Simpsons, and I think at launch they're going to have some MCU movies or shows. Well, they're going to have all of Disney's back catalog.
Are they doing like a Loki show?
Yes, that one is still in the works and everything, but I think that they're going to launch with WandaVision, a TV show about Wanda and Maximoff and Vision.
And the Vision.
Yeah.
Which I'm so lukewarm on those guys.
Same here. Like, I know that you weren't crazy about them in Infinity War, and I was just like,
I felt like they were just kind of put together for no reason. Were they
really kind of were.
Okay, I know that they were both in
Age of Ultron and Civil War.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did they ever interact?
They did, in that, like, they seeded the relationship a little bit.
They did. It's been so long since I've seen those movies.
I don't remember specifically how, but they did seed that relationship a little bit. But like by the time we get to Infinity War, it's like they're full-fledged.
Yeah, they're like living together.
Yeah, it's like a serious relationship, and it's like.
I was like, I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, he was created like 2 years ago.
Right. Yeah.
First of all. He's practically a baby.
Right. He's just a little baby.
He's a little baby. And like I don't like the name Viz. She calls him Viz.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
No. It's gonna be a no from me, dog.
But the other show I'm really excited about is
also, I don't like that name, WandaVision.
Oh yeah. That's ridiculous. Like I'm convinced that they'll have a different name for it or something. They have to. And I think they'll have a different name for the next one that I'm going to bring up, because it just seems like it's following the same thing. It's the Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I am all for. Like,
I just remember that scene in Civil War, and he's like, "You move your seat," and he's like, "No."
That's all I want. Like, I want that type of show.
Like disgruntled roommates.
Yes. God,
what is the premise of that one? Do you know?
No.
I hope that they're
Falcon
like.
and Winter
I hope they have to
Soldier.
share like a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City,
That would
and
be so great.
And it's just about them living together and like just getting on each other's nerves.
That would be Oh yeah.
This guy, no, this guy, both of us.
Yeah. It'll just be like them back to back on the poster, like with their arms crossed.
Yeah, it's not about superheroes at all.
Yeah.
It's just totally domestic. It's just a straight sitcom.
Exactly.
But they also have superpowers. But that's not the point.
Right. But yeah, so that I'm excited for that. That's pretty much all I got for Disney Plus and everything.
I mean, I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nah, that's fair. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it just because, like, okay, I've been on record saying this like ad nauseum and everything, and so I'm only gonna briefly touch on this, but like over on Anthology, I'm reviewing Twilight Zone and everything, and like Twilight Zone as a property, as an IP, dates back 60 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, the hardcore fans have lived with the Twilight Zone for their entire lives. There are a lot of people who are huge fans of, like, watching it when it aired in the 60s. Mm-hmm. And those same people seem to be the ones that are so outspoken about, like, why they... Like, okay... Perfect example. On Facebook, there is a CBS All Access has like one of those like promoted things that's just like like check out all of the original Twilight Zone on CBS All Access, just promoting it and stuff. So like I just was bored and I clicked.
You read the comments.
I read the comments.
Oh, never read the comments.
Yes.
That's a rookie mistake.
Yes. Well, I read one that was because like even though that particular Facebook post is all about the original Twilight Zone, the comments are all about the new one.
Mm-hmm. So and how no one likes it.
And how no one likes it, even though, like, it's a vocal minority that don't like it. And certain political leanings don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I read one comment where it was like, it was like, well, if they wanted it, they should have put the new Twilight Zone on regular TV because I'm not gonna buy. Or I'm not going to subscribe to another streaming service. Maybe if they had it on regular TV, the ratings would be better. And I'm like, okay, hold up. Like I actually responded to it. I didn't get a response or anything, but I was like, okay, first of all, I didn't say this, but this has been my like counter to the whole, like, I don't want another streaming service. No one is forcing you to have the streaming service every month of the year. I'm going to drop CBS All Access once I watch all of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And I'll re-up when season 2 comes out. No one's forcing you to have that. And honestly, it's like $6. Mm-hmm. And we had a not similar conversation, but I'm curious to see if you are in line with this thinking I'm about to say, but like if you don't feel like you can, I don't know if I'd say afford, but like if you're so up in arms about like, oh, I don't want to spend $6 on another streaming service for this show that some people that are making this complaint are diehard fans of, like what, like it's not that much money. It's like $6. Like,
yeah.
Drop another streaming service for a month, watch the Twilight Zone. Yeah, I don't know. Like I was talking to someone at work, like after going to the coffee shop, and like I had a cup of coffee, and they were like they saw it was Casual Friday, and I had a Twilight Zone shirt on, and he was like, "Oh, hey, cool," and I was like, "Yeah," I was talking to him about the new Twilight Zone, and then I was like, "Yeah, people are complaining about it," and I'm like, it's like literally like this in my hand now is what I would spend on CBS All Access. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Anyway.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if you don't want to pay for the streaming service, that's fine, but don't complain about it.
Yeah.
Because you're making a choice not to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, that's how it works.
Right. Exactly. It's the era of streaming.
Yeah.
And that also brings me to my next point. What I actually said in response to that, was that, like, I quote, like, I'm so annoyed by it, and I'm so annoyed by, like, just, like, arguments on.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It's how I feel toward you.
Yeah. Well, no. Fuck you. But no, just arguments online in general, because it's always just people like yelling their opinion.
Yeah.
And everything. Like one of my favorite.
You're never gonna change anyone's mind on the internet.
And one of my favorite things was like Tiny had posted something on Facebook at one point, like months and months ago, and one of his Facebook friends that I don't know and Mike doesn't know was commenting about it. It was a political thing, and so Mike, he's a teacher. he's like, well, what do you mean by this? Like, what do you mean by this aggressive thing?
Show your work.
That's exactly what he was doing.
Be specific and give examples.
And it was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful because
because sometimes people can't. They just blindly regurgitate information that they have heard from other sources, be they reliable or not. And Mike, and they think that's a fact.
Mike was following that, like he was just like he was saying, like, okay, you haven't said anything that's this. What you said here is a logical fallacy that doesn't even isn't even accurate to this argument or anything.
I had a Facebook friend who was constantly posting like weird
links to his podcast.
Trump memes.
Okay.
And like they would make these claims, and I would just do like a quick fact check, and I would post it like a Snopes article or something,
right?
On his on the comment, and he blocked me. So.
Did he really?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, whatever.
Well, I mean, we all know that Trump's right, that, like, there are doctors who take babies out of women and just murder them.
Yeah, well, they make the decision.
They make the decision.
Whether to murder the child or not. So...
Jesus. Anyway, so my counter, going back to the actual topic.
Yeah.
My response was like I copied what they said. Like I copy and pasted it saying like if it's on regular TV their ratings would be better, and then I put a link to an article from Variety where the president and COO of CBS All Access says, like, verbatim says the series premiere of The Twilight Zone had more viewers than either premiere for either season of Star Trek Discovery on the service. And now that The Twilight Zone is out, CBS All Access has more subscribers than we've ever had before.
But if it was on regular TV...
Yes. And that's exactly like that. And I was I was a little snarky. And I was like, yeah, I think they're doing fine.
Yeah.
Didn't get a response or anything, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, I get so annoyed. And I tweeted, like, I did the whole, like, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase, uppercase, lowercase thing.
Like the SpongeBob meme.
Yeah. It was like, if it's on regular TV, then the ratings would be better. Anyway, all that's annoying.
You showed that guy.
I did, yes. So anyway, let's talk briefly about Weird City, and then we'll get into
since we're
our
talking
stuff.
about Jordan Peele already.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I like how this kind of, it's flowing
This
well.
is a nice segue.
Yeah. And it's so great when you actually call attention to him too. Anyway, so Weird City is a sci-fi comedy anthology series on YouTube, which YouTube just announced. I haven't dug too deep into like the specifics of this, but they announced that they're changing up the style, like how they're doing their premium content. So instead of having the content behind a paywall for YouTube Premium, they're going to have the original series on YouTube, but with ads. And if
okay.
If
Well,
you want
cool.
to pay for YouTube Premium, then you
no
won't get
ads.
Yeah.
That's cool. I like
so
that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I watched the first episode of Weird City because you could watch the first episode without subscribing to the
and you're
service.
just, like, we've talked about it before, but you're just a huge fan of Ed O'Neill.
Yeah.
And
I do like Ed O'Neill.
he's good.
But Dylan
Flew to
O'Brien
Paris and
was
Venom,
starring in the episode, so I'm a big fan of Dylan O'Brien's. So it was free, and I had to watch it. It was good. I really liked it. So
It was cute. It was very cute.
The premise of the episode is like this. It's this weird, like, not so distant, like, technology based future.
Yes.
Where there's a huge, like, poverty, like, there's a huge disparity between the upper class and the lower class, and they call it living above the line or below the line, and it's an actual physical line that you have to cross to get above or below. And Dylan O'Brien plays this young guy who he doesn't have a girlfriend and he's having trouble dating, so he signs up for this service.
Poor Dylan O'Brien.
I know, that poor handsome guy just can't get a girl.
Oh God! Don't even get me started. I could relate to him so much. Super handsome. I'm saying that I'm super handsome. I'm as handsome as.
Okay.
Yeah. Dylan O'Brien.
All right. So anyway,
I did not jerk off in a Yat's bathroom
to the sound of my own
while listening to my own podcast.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
So he signs up for this service that will they basically do like a. I don't know.
It's like a complete workup,
like a physical and a mental analysis of you, and they match you with. It's called the one that is the one. So it's like your perfect match, and he is matched with Ed O'Neill. And there's a huge age difference, and neither of them are gay, and and so they're like, well, this sucks. Like, we want our money back, and they end up going to get dinner because they're both hungry, and they hit it off, and. They end up sleeping together, totally unexpected, and they decide they want to give it a shot, and they make this beautiful life. Ed O'Neill meets Dylan O'Brien's parents, and Dylan O'Brien meets Ed O'Neill's adult children.
That was my favorite part of the whole episode. It was a great scene. That was great
when he was interacting with the kids.
Yes,
and it's this great they make a really great couple, and then they find out.
Do we want to spoil it? I don't think we should spoil it.
All right.
Yeah, let's not spoil
it. Yeah. It's good.
It's good.
LeVar Burton he plays the doctor who works at the lab where they do the testing to find out who your perfect match is, and he was great. I love LeVar Burton.
And I've seen 2 or 3 episodes so far.
Is he a recurring character?
He is. He makes appearances in each
as
episode,
the same character, or okay.
Yeah.
He's like Doctor.
Oh crap! What is his name? It's been a while since I've watched it, but yeah, it's a very charming show, and I've been back and forth about whether or not I want to review it on Anthology because it fits the parameters of what I cover on Anthology. But I'm just super busy. So Maybe eventually I'll do like a one-off season review, but I have other stuff I got to do on Anthology.
So what did you think of the other 2 episodes that you watched?
Okay, so I will say that I think it's episode 2 with Michael Cera is actually my favorite of the 3 that I saw.
Big names, by the way, big names.
Oh yeah, totally.
In the show, Rosario Dawson, Mark Hamill, Stephen Yen, Laverne Cox, Yvette Nicole Brown, Awkwafina. So
yep.
Yeah, check it out.
The second episode it's basically Michael Cera as this guy who doesn't fit in well, like in a
Michael Cera?
Right.
No way.
Right.
That's totally out of type for him.
Yeah. So he's basically, it starts out with him at a like the show has some kind of drug that people are addicted to. I don't remember what exactly
it's all set in the same universe.
Yeah,
though.
same universe, but each episode is self-contained.
Okay.
So he's at like this Addicts Anonymous meeting for this particular drug, and like people like one of the guys goes up to him and is like, hey, you're not addicted to this drug, like you're just not addicted to it.
He just wants friends.
He just wants, yeah, and he's like, but you guys are my family, and it's kind of sweet, but it's weird, like he's weird in it.
Yeah.
And then so as he's like, after he's like rejected by the AA whatever, he stops by he happens across a gym that basically is promoting like, oh, like, work out here and, you can be family with us or whatever. And so he just gets sucked into this whole like culture of like gym and like this gym culture, and he becomes like obsessed with it and everything.
I know that like in the ads for the show, he was like super buff.
Yeah.
So.
And his performance it's maybe one of my favorite like Michael Cera performances I've ever seen. Like it's kind of reminiscent to me of his role in This Is the End. Did you ever see that?
I did, yeah.
Okay, nice.
He played like a parody of himself. Yeah. I love when actors do that.
Me too. But yeah, so it was good. I really liked the second episode, but I did want to point out that the first episode had some pretty cool not Easter eggs, but like little references to like Blade Runner that I liked. Like the first, like they ask, what's his name?
Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien, yes. They ask him like a question, like they start asking him questions like, okay, you're in a desert and you see a tortoise and it's on its back and everything. Yeah, that's a direct reference to Blade Runner. And I like that and everything, but then like the next, like they keep doing that, like that same thing through, like it's a running thing throughout like at least 2 episodes. But anyway, so that
specifically the tortoise question.
Yeah, like it resurfaces, and I was just like, okay, I would rather have just one done. But like the third episode, I think, was about this girl who goes to college, and it was weird. Like no pun intended. It was really weird.
Yeah.
Basically, she strikes up a relationship with a guy, and it's 100%. Like they have a good time and they are about to have the sexual intercourse.
Okay.
I've heard happens.
Oh.
And he walks into the other room and starts texting her. And so like, they're like, no, this is how we do, this is how we have sex. We just text each other. And
they're having textual relations.
Yes. It's, they're sexting and it's, the way how it goes from there is into some weird things that didn't quite.
So what, you just like text someone the eggplant emoji over and over and over again? And the peach emoji?
Well, yeah, why they have like conversation, like it's, we'll talk off mic.
I don't think I want to.
Yeah, it's fine. I have PowerPoints and stuff. You'll come away from this learning a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, it was weird, and like there's only like 6 episodes, so like I'm halfway through it.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's all right. But I did really like the chemistry between Ed O'Neill. And
they made a good couple.
Dylan O'Brien.
Ed O'Neill was on Ellen, and his daughter was a guest in the audience, and he told a story about, because Ellen asked him about Weird City, and he was like, my daughter was on set when we were filming, and she has a huge crush on Dylan O'Brien. He's a hot young actor, and I, she had to watch me kiss him. and she got so mad at me for kissing her celebrity crush. It's just a cute story.
Nice. Yeah. The show itself reminds me a bit of the Hulu show Dimension 404, which I did cover on Anthology. Yeah, so
it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Cool. So, so we watched a movie today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we watched
if you can't
today.
handle me at my worst, then good for you. I respect your decisions. I'm allowed to handle.
You know, yes. Your worst is
it's
that's
pretty
your
bad.
baseline.
It's pretty bad.
Anyway. Jesus.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Yes.
Is the movie that we watched that just dropped on Netflix.
Yes. It was a big hit at Sundance, I think. The plot description, according to IMDb, is a courtroom frenzy ensues and sweeps 1970s America when a young single mother reluctantly... I'm not going to read this because it's kind of spoilery.
Is it spoilers if it's like a real thing that happened?
Well, it's spoiler to the narrative, the way it's structured in the narrative.
Okay.
We'll do a non-spoiler review. Basically, this movie is about Ted Bundy and his relationship with a single mother, and then the ensuing courtroom battle that occurred that led to, him being found guilty and everything. This movie stars Zac Efron, Zac Efron as Ted Bundy, Lily Collins as the single mother, Angela, yes, which is the Liz Kendall is the movie's based on a book by her, The Phantom Prince: My Life with Ted Bundy.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, so this, it also has a lot of people in it that are, really good.
Yeah. John Malkovich.
And Jeffrey
Haley Joel
Donovan, Haley Joel Osment, Dylan
Jim
Baker.
Parsons. Angela Seraphine, is that how you say her name?
Yes. Also, your friend...
Forba Shepherd, yes, is a personal friend of mine who played... Louise Bundy, Ted Bundy's mother.
I think so.
So when you watch it, that's my girl Forba.
Yeah. And she did a good job.
She's a local indie actress, so we're all very proud of her. And she got to meet Zac Efron. That's cool.
She's in scenes with, she does scenes with Zac Efron.
Yeah, she has a real speaking role. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
I have cool friends.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you don't have to say that again.
None of whom are here right now. They're not here right now.
That's a mean thing to say to pizza.
They're not here.
Yeah. Well.
Right now.
Yeah, Louise.
Haley Joel Osment is credited as a detective. Does he play
in this movie?
Yeah,
No, he's definitely not. Well,
Detective Jerry Thompson.
That's inaccurate then. It also features Jim Parsons and Brian Garrity. Yeah, that's just inaccurate.
He's a love interest of one of the characters in the movie. And I don't think he's a detective because he works with Liz.
Right. And it's the university medical whatever. On IMDb, he's credited as Liz's coworker, Jerry.
Oh.
So yeah.
Well, they got the name right, Jerry.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So I this was kind of on a whim thing.
Yeah. I'm glad we watched it though. It was really entertaining.
I found it really entertaining. I did have some problems with it, and I'm interested to discuss it with you. So we're going to do non-spoiler, and then we'll do a spoiler review later. But just kind of in general terms, early on in the movie, I kind of turned to you and I was like, "Are we supposed to sympathize with Ted Bundy?" And it's maybe I went into the movie with preconceived notions and an idea of how the movie was going to be structured.
Okay.
Because the movie is not a traditional true crime drama thing.
Right.
It's not like Zodiac where they're chasing Ted Bundy.
Right.
It's completely through Ted Bundy's perspective.
Yeah.
And so, there's, scenes early on in the movie where he's talking about how, oh, these people are following me.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I do think you're supposed to lean more towards sympathy. I think that was a choice. Here's the thing.
And I don't agree with it. Go ahead.
Before... a lot of early reviews for the movie, people were criticizing it, saying that it is painting him in a positive light.
Yeah.
And that but okay. His survivors, there are people who he attacked who survived. And they were interviewed. They saw the film and they said that it was an accurate portrayal. That he really was charming, and that is why he got away with what he did. Not because he was so brilliant, but because he was so disarming.
Right.
And that the tone of the film is supposed to reflect that. And I think it's a statement that he not only charmed his victims.
Right.
He's charming us.
Yes.
He charmed the courtroom. He charmed the media.
I think I love him.
Yeah. I think I love him.
I think I love him.
And Matt, sounds like he charmed you. Charmed you real good.
He did. Well, first of all,
Zac Efron is so charming.
He is very charming. But okay, I respect that approach to it. And I can forgive my own preconceived thoughts going into it, and I'm on board with that perspective that the movie takes. My kind of issue is that it doesn't, to my liking, pay off in the way that I think that it thinks it does. We'll talk more in spoilers, but okay, we get a lot of not even descriptions, just references to oh, okay, well, we see him in this city doing this thing, and then in the news it's oh, these women were brutally murdered and everything. It's just described, and it's gonna sound kind of fucked up, but we didn't see any of it. It's not, and granted, that could be construed as dramatizing it or what's the word I'm looking for? Glamorizing it, which would not be good or whatever. But the whole thing about the movie is that the entire movie is basically painting him as someone that we're sympathizing with or we are being charmed by, but we don't, the payoff of seeing his true nature never really comes in the way that I would have been satisfied with.
I disagree.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk more in spoilers, because there's some payoff on that front, but to me it just feels like it was not enough to really demonstrate how, I liked it for the characters, but for the viewers, we'll talk in spoilers.
Okay.
But the whole courtroom stuff was phenomenal.
I love how they filmed actual word for word bits from the interviews.
Yes.
And they showed us that, and while they were playing the credits, they showed actual footage of interviews with Ted Bundy.
Right. That's verbatim what's depicted in the movie, and it's
it was very well done.
Yeah. And hats off to Zac Efron. Also,
he gave a very great performance.
Really good.
Yeah, he really tapped into the character well.
Yep, and also Lily Collins played the distraught
Liz. Yeah.
Liz, she has her own. It was a good demonstration of she is someone who was extremely close to him. And let him, she was in a serious relationship with him.
They were engaged.
Yeah.
They lived together.
Right.
While this was happening.
And I think that's where the disconnect is kind of also for me, is that we see, I made the joke when they have their meet cute scene. I made the joke oh, this is gonna be a good love story. Because I was expecting it to kind of be a night and day thing where you see his home life with her, and then you see him just go and butchering and murdering these people.
I get that, and that's a choice they could have made. I don't, but I'm not unhappy with what they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's pulling the audience into Liz's doubt. You know, we never see him do it. Did he do it? You know, is he this? You know, was he only guilty of running a stoplight or a stop sign? You know, and I mean, we all know the story of Ted Bundy. We all know he did it.
Right.
We all know he was found guilty and sentenced and put to death.
We all love him.
We all we love him. But I think that was what they were trying to establish, that doubt.
Yeah.
That Liz and everyone else had.
And they did a really good job with that, with the combination of Zac Efron's just really charming performance. Like, and Lily Collins is just like, her inner turmoil and stuff was great.
She had a good arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think my biggest issue is that, like, even though we're brought into Ted Bundy's perspective and his, like, we're being charmed by him as everyone else is, it's also like, it feels like it, maybe not disingenuous or I wouldn't even say disrespectful, but it's like the actual crimes that he was convicted of and put to death for are just like completely like secondary or tertiary to the entire movie. Like, we don't get like details of it. Like, we don't get the severity of it. Like, we don't see, like, there's a scene where he is partying with some college girls, and then the next scene is literally just like the news saying like, oh, these college girls were murdered. It's like,
you felt like you had to see the violence in order.
And I knew that you were going to say that, but not necessarily.
Well, you're saying that they didn't state the severity, but they did. Right. They listed off like very like
in dialogue.
Grotesque detail. Yeah. I don't see anything wrong with that.
But I feel like, and there isn't anything inherently wrong with that. I think that what I just expected and what I would have appreciated more is seeing how much of a monster he truly was, in seeing like his patterns and like how he did it, seeing it, and as opposed to being told how he did it.
I get, okay.
Yeah.
I get that. I feel like we don't need to, because we all know the story. But also, keep in mind, there are victims still living. Mm-hmm. Do they really need that? I mean, they lived through that.
True, but also, like, to your point about, like, we all know it and everything, like, yeah, that's true. Like, I know about Ted Bundy, but I don't know the specifics of Ted Bundy. Like, I didn't know, like, the specifics of the crimes he committed and everything. So, like, when I watch a movie like Zodiac, like, that movie depicts the killings, and that brings you into just how serious it is.
I just felt like we didn't need it.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
yeah. We'll talk more about that.
They could have done it, and I think it still would have been great. But I think it was complete without it.
Okay, fair. Agree to disagree.
Okay.
Yeah. What other non-spoiler stuff can we talk? The courtroom scenes were great.
Yeah, they were very good.
Yeah, and it just goes into his whole, like, persona, like his narcissism and his coldness. Like, he's so
a detached
performance for him.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's kind of chilling in the way that he does it, that he is so steadfast in his, like, denial of it and everything, and he makes it into like
a spectacle.
Yeah. Really,
he was treated like a celebrity, and he felt like one. Mm-hmm. I mean,
it's incredible, because, like, I did not know that was the first, like, televised courtroom trial.
Yeah.
And, like, it just, I didn't know that part of the story at all, and it's interesting to see that in, like, the 70s, and, like, obviously everyone who was conscious at the time remembers the OJ trial. And, like, that was, like, the biggest thing. And, like, since then we've had, like, Robert Blake, Michael Jackson's trial, like, all of these, like, kind of televised event trials. And it's just, it wasn't necessarily presented this way, but it feels like it's just a precursor to our culture today. Like, how everyone is
celebrity worship.
Yeah. And I made the joke that, like, you know, if he had been, you know, found not guilty and he was acquitted, like, he could be president today.
Not really a joke, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, any other non-spoiler stuff you want to talk about?
So I don't think it's spoilers. The title of the movie is,
I think the trial's fair game.
That is, extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Yes.
Is what the judge said when he was delivering the sentencing.
Yes.
Of, he received the death sentence. But what bothers me, and it's actual dialogue that the judge actually said, and it's always bothered me because I am familiar with the case.
Okay.
is that he's like, oh, you're a very bright young man, and it's a shame that your life went this way because you would have made a wonderful lawyer, and I would have loved to have had you in my courtroom. And it's just like he was failing out of law school. He was not going to be a good lawyer,
right? And he was not a good lawyer.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously because he was found guilty, but he was getting by on the spectacle of the case. He wasn't getting by on his merit, I don't think. Mm-hmm. He knew the jargon, he knew the words to say, but I don't think he was an effective lawyer.
Right.
And I said, it's bullshit what mediocre white men can get away with. Like, he killed minimum 30 people. He killed more than 30 people. And he gets sentenced to death, and the judge is like, well, you could have been a great lawyer. It's too bad that this happened, that you had to go and murder those women, I guess.
And it wasn't even like it was, because obviously this is what happened and everything in the trial, but it wasn't even like the movie was making a statement that, like, oh, he even charmed the judge, because it's like, the judge reviled him, hated him, and it's just like, honestly,
what he said is, I have no animosity toward you.
Oh, that's right.
He did say that. But he was fed up with him during the proceedings because he was grandstanding.
Exactly.
And the judge did not appreciate that, clearly.
Yeah.
But he still was like, you would have made a wonderful lawyer, and I would have loved to have had you in my courtroom. And it's like, he killed 30 people. And it's the audacity, you know?
Like in any other movie, like if it was a fictional retelling of it or anything, like that would be, that would be taken as like, okay, this is a statement, like in our current world.
But this actually happened in the 1970s. He actually, like, a real judge said this to a real serial killer.
And I admit, I did not even really put that together until you mentioned it. And it's just like, because that's the world we live in. Like, that's just how it's always been.
And, let's be real, he wasn't all that handsome. He had a unibrow.
He was so handsome.
Do you think you love him?
No, I don't know.
Oh, maybe. What did he say? Did he say something to you? What did he say? Word for word, verbatim. What did he say?
I don't know. But yeah, so, he did such a great job.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was well done. I liked it.
Yeah, and should we talk about spoilers? This is kind of a brief review, but
I think spoilers will be brief.
We've wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
So, oh god, it is.
We've been talking already for like 2 hours?
That can't be right.
It's nuts.
Like an hour and 39 minutes. Look at the little pizza. Whoa, she's so pretty. Quit bobbering me.
She is so bobbered.
She is.
Look how bobbered she is.
She's so cute, though. Anyway.
Sorry, pizza. I startle her every time I call.
Yes.
So, we'll do spoilers?
So, yes. Oh, before we do spoilers, did you say that you watched the tapes, whatever?
I did, yeah.
How did you feel about the documentary
Ted Bundy interview tapes? I think it was made by the same people.
Conversations with the Killer or something?
And it's also on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And that was good. It was interviews.
Conversations with the Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, they talk about, his, time in jail, and it's very enlightening, and the way he just rambles on about himself is very, it kind of tells you all that you need to know about him.
Huh. Yes, the director of the documentary is also the director of the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so let's talk spoilers for You Say the Title.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Yes. And we're going to go into spoilers. I'm going to play a clip from the trailer. If you want to avoid spoilers, check the show notes for timestamps to get to our potpourri section where we're going to talk about LOSTPoint.
All right.
The triumphant return to our little project here. So enjoy this clip from the trailer, and we're going to go into spoilers for this movie here.
Televised trial in history.
You look nice, partner.
I'm disguised as an attorney today.
I get very scared, but, he's also really dreamy.
There are things you don't know that will shock you beyond your worst nightmares.
It's all a lie.
It is a capital murder case, and you are skating on thin ice.
This is about catching a monster.
I wish I could take it all back.
What about
evil, vile.
Did you do these things, Ted?
This is all gonna end.
It's only gonna end with the truth.
Okay, spoilers on
All
for
right.
Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile. I read it.
All right, so you don't think that
Okay.
the end was payoff enough for you?
I did not.
Okay.
Because what I appreciated about it, and also let's back up. So the entire movie, Liz is feeling like she's going through just torment with herself.
Yeah.
And it's revealed like about 2/3 through the movie that she's the one who tipped off the authorities.
Yeah. Everyone is saying, "Oh, he was on the suspect list."
Yeah.
That's got to mean something. And even her best friend Joanna, was like, how can you still think that he's innocent after all of this? He's wanted in Colorado and in Utah and California, whatever.
Florida.
Florida. Yeah. Oh, yeah. What did you say it was? America's Pee-Pee?
America's Pee-Pee, yes.
That's what you said. And it turns out she was the one who called in the tip when she saw the sketch that looked, what she says, a little bit like him.
Right.
And it was the right make of car, but the wrong color.
Yes.
And as it turns out, just the victim got the color wrong because it was him.
Yeah. And you had made the remark kind of late in the movie when like the closing moments of the movie that you said that you would have rather have had us not know that she tipped him off until that final moment.
She tells him,
yes.
At the end of the movie, she meets with him one final time, when it just days before his execution date. And she reveals to him that the reason he was even on the suspect list in the first place was because she called it in and they put him on the list.
Yes.
And she wants, in exchange for that information, she wants him to tell her the truth if she killed these women, if he really did it.
Yeah.
I do agree because she reveals it earlier
to Jerry.
Haley Joel Osment's character, who she's dating at the time, and it was a very emotional moment. But then that took the wind out of the sails at the end. That is one thing I agree with.
I actually disagree with your take on that.
Really?
Yes. So
you are so wrong.
I mean, it's an opinion, but it's fine. Don't make me kill you. I'm not going to kill her. I did not jerk off in a Yats bathroom.
Don't change the subject.
Yes. So anyway, Jesus Christ. Okay, as an aside, in the class the digital literacy class I'm taking, we had like the discussion post was like social media in the news, and one of the people that had posted was saying about how he doesn't use social media that much because he doesn't like having like things from his early 20s out there. And so like I responded to him and I was like, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I talked about the James Gunn thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, and like with me and my podcast, I have literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of my voice out there from the last 6 years.
Advertising the podcast in your class.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't link to it or anything, but I said,
that's it.
That's the only reason I'm going back to school. But the whole point is like I said that saying that like, and I don't know what is out. Like I don't know what is out there. Like I don't hide my identity or anything. Like people can, like a guy who discovered Tower Junkies, actually a Facebook friend requested me.
Like if you ever went into politics or was going to run for president, they'd be like, no.
Also,
he jerked off in a Yats bathroom.
I did not jerk off in a Yats bathroom to the sound of my own.
I did not jerk off in a Yats bathroom to the sound of my own voice.
Okay, first of all, I think we're getting away from the.
You think?
I think no. I think we're distinctly changing it. I did not. The thing was, it wasn't that I was jerking off to the sound of my voice. It was while listening to my voice. Anyway, I did not do it, but so.
Why did you feel the need to make that distinction
because it just sounds even weirder. So anyway, I had said that, like, as an example, like, there are hundreds of hours of my voice, out on the internet that's free to download and everything. And I don't know if there's something in those hundreds of hours
that would incriminate you,
that would incriminate me or, like, make me, like, ineligible for something that I want to do or whatever.
Yeah.
And now we've said multiple times that I did not jerk off in a Yat's bathroom. Anyway, so to get back to the actual movie, I would have liked. I think I would have taken to Lily Collins's character's struggle throughout the entire movie if that was revealed earlier, that she's the one that tipped them off, because then the movie shifts. And granted, maybe it's just not the movie that they were wanting to make, but the movie would then shift to her story of her being someone who was so charmed by this guy and has to wrestle with the fact that he is still so charming to, like, basically. One of the things I think the movie handled really well was that he keeps trying to contact her,
calling her, sending her letters. Yeah.
And then I feel like he kind of stopped for a while when he found Carol Ann. I think it was Carolyn Ann.
Oh, was it?
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kaya Scoladario's character.
Yeah. When he finds her, because he is someone who's so narcissistic that he wants to be worshipped and everything, that like when things aren't really working out with her, like he goes back and tries to contact Liz because he needs that like affirmation and that worship and everything. But I feel like it would have been, like I said, granted it would have been a different movie, but I feel like it would have been more narratively speaking. I think
it is Carol Ann. I was right. You were wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair. I still did not jerk off in a Yat's bathroom.
Okay.
But anyway,
God, just move on.
I can't. I just feel like if they had established that earlier, then the movie would have been like her journey, like, cause like she does a fantastic job performing in those scenes. But we don't have the context until later in the movie. Like the context is up until the reveal, the context of her like watching the news and everything and fearing that he's going to contact her is just that she doesn't know if he did it or not. Like she's just like seeing this horror unfold and everything and denying to her friend that he's capable of doing it. Whereas like it's revealed later that it's because she doesn't know if she's sending away so
you wouldn't have wanted like that big reveal?
Not really. I would have liked it more. I think it would have been a more powerful narrative if it was focused on her wrestling with whether or not she did the right thing.
Okay, I disagree.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But the ending, with her confronting him, I really don't think they stuck the landing, because I feel like in that moment, that's when, and Grant, like, we get a little bit of it, but like, he reveals, she's like basically not even begging him, demanding that he just admit to what he's done.
Yeah.
Just
she keeps that. So she's got a photograph that she was given 10 years ago by a detective, and it took her 10 years to open the envelope and look at it, and it's a picture of one of his victims, her deceased body, sans head.
Yeah. Which. Yeah.
And she's saying, "Tell me what happened to her head."
Right.
She asks him multiple times, and he, the glass is fogged up between them, and he writes hacksaw.
Yes. Which, now that we're talking, because I it's not that I forgot about the picture, but like we do see like a flash of his memory, like knocking the woman down with a tire iron, and then dragging her body, and then grabbing the hacksaw and everything. So we do get that, but it's also like, this is one victim out of 30 confirmed ones and countless others that went unconfirmed, that I just feel like it's powerful in that it's revealing, like he's revealing and admitting it through the window, but it's also like, I feel like we spend so much time being charmed by him and being like kind of manipulated in a sense to not necessarily root for him, but sympathize with him as he's like being followed and stuff, which I did like how him being followed was like directly due to her like calling it in. But like that, and then the payoff is him just admitting to doing it. I feel like to really hammer it home, it would have been more beneficial to show like the true nature of him being just a monster. Like if that means like a montage of him just murdering women and everything, like that would bring home like exactly how much of a monster he was. Cause we've had this long, like hour and 45-minute movie that's just demonstrating him as being this charming kind of,
that's who he was though.
But he was also a monster who murdered so many women.
And we saw that.
in one picture.
Yeah. And we also saw there were photographs in the courtroom scene.
There were.
Graphic descriptions of what he had done to his victims.
Mm-hmm.
All of it, I don't feel like I needed to see a montage of him murdering 30 people.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, is bludgeoning a woman and decapitating her in a field not enough of a monster for you, man?
Well, when we were talking about someone who had multiple victims, like I get
that
like,
murdering 30 people is worse than murdering one person.
Yeah.
Yes, but I did not need to see a montage of him murdering 30 people.
Right, and to be fair, I didn't want to see it. Like, I'm not sitting there thinking like, okay,
like he's a monster. I get it.
Yeah, yeah, but.
And well, to wrap it up, he dangled in front of the police.
I like that you took charge. Okay, to wrap it up, I'm done with this.
I am. He claimed that he had several more victims, and he wanted to delay his execution, hoping that they would take this information and delay it, and he did not get what he wanted.
Yeah.
And I think that's good.
Me too.
I wish that the victims' families had peace and closure. But it's good that he is dead.
Yeah.
And you know what? That can go on the record. Yeah,
right.
that's crazy. That is one thing I didn't know. I'm sure it was in the documentary, but I completely forgot about it. That Carol Ann was pregnant and had her baby while he was on death row.
Yeah.
Like shortly before he was executed, I think.
Right.
And I mean, his daughter is probably alive today.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's crazy. Like
Absolutely.
we were saying earlier, like imagine being the Liz's daughter.
Yeah.
But imagine being Ted Bundy's daughter, who was conceived while her father was in prison on trial.
On death row.
No, he wasn't on death row then. He was on trial for capital murder. She was born while he was on death row.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
It was a conjugal visit.
Yes. And under the table, conjugal visit, because you see the
guy counting the
money.
money.
The guy counting the money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, like, just being so brainwashed by a person? Like, Carol Ann was so devoted to him.
It's insane.
For no reason.
Like,
she uprooted her entire life. She moved to Florida because he called her.
But also, Zac Efron.
But Ted Bundy.
Yeah, he's not a good
So...
guy. But no, I totally, I can't imagine.
Like, well, I think about people who were, like, obsessed with Charles Manson. Yeah. You know, and have this weird infatuation with
weird groupies and stuff.
Yeah, like serial killers attract people. It's so bizarre to me.
Yeah. I would love to, like, read or see, like, a documentary or something that, like, goes into the mentality of this, like, the psychology of it, because it's so bizarre to me. And, like, people are, by nature, everyone's fucking weird.
Yeah. It's biology.
Yeah. But it's just, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So hypothetical question. If you met someone who on death row, kidding. I'm not going to go into So anyway,
How would I meet someone on death row?
I don't know. A pen pal thing? Like, I don't know.
I'm on, like, a dating website called, like, Prison Mates for Life or something.
I believe that probably exists. Like, I can almost guarantee that there's, like, a prison...
Lonely singles are in a cell near you.
God. But yeah, one other thing that I was, like, kind of looking for in this movie was... And granted, at this point, I didn't know that it was... that it was based on the book written by Liz, but I was wondering if they were going to incorporate anything regarding Anne Rule.
Yeah, I didn't know this. You were telling me about this earlier.
So she basically she's best. I'm reading off Wikipedia. She's best known for The Stranger Beside Me, about the serial killer Ted Bundy, with whom Rule worked and whom she considered a friend, but was later revealed to be a murderer.
What? Spoilers.
Yeah, I actually didn't know that she died in 2015. That's interesting. But anyway, yeah, I lost my train.
Yeah, we were wondering if there was going to be anything about her in the movie, and there was not.
There wasn't. Yeah.
We thought at first Anne might have been Carol Ann, might have been Ann, but
it was hard to catch the name.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought, like, for a second, because they said Carol Ann, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if that's like I looked up, like, her
birth
Ann
name.
Rule's, like, birth name, and it was, 12 best free prison dating sites.
Oh my god. What are they called? Like, what are their names? Read off some good ones.
Match.com is one of them.
What?
Like, what the fuck? Doesn't cater specifically to single inmates and their admirers, but it has more users than most other dating sites. Okay, well, that makes sense. Like, the site itself has more. It's the
inmates.
Predominant, yeah. But
I want something specifically for inmates.
meetaninmate.com, or I'm sorry, meet-an-inmate.com. Meet an Inmate has been connecting inmates with pen pals since 1998. While inmates pay a small fee to be listed on the site, it's 100% free for people to write to them.
Oh,
letters.
Right. We should all make accounts.
Right? Letters are sent. Oh, you're going to love this next one. But letters are sent to via the U.S. Postal Service. According to Meet an Inmate, we are very customer-oriented. We have been the trusted prison pen pal site to list inmates for many years. Our success lies with our word-of-mouth advertising between inmates who have had success using our service. Like, okay, I guess I can understand, like, that as a pen pal thing.
Yeah. But just the infatuation.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah.
But this one, loveaprisoner.com.
That's what I'm looking for.
Is an inmate dating site with a 75% compatibility rating.
What the?
Users can browse by gender, ethnicity, location, prison, and type of member.
But does that mean type of crime? Like,
no, type of member on the website.
Yeah, but like,
in parentheses it says regular or VIP. So, like, prisoners can pay to be VIP members on the website. And they can write to each other and buy each other gifts if they feel like splurging. Not only that, but Love a Prisoner provides information about prison laws and facts, as well as places to report problems like on-site fraud.
It's educational too.
Yes.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
There's a market for this.
Yeah, there's so many. Oh my god! Like, I'm scrolling past the ones that are just pen pals.
This is going to be in your search history.
It is. Yes. Inmate.
You're going to start getting targeted ads,
right? Inmatemingle.com.
Oh my god! Like Christian Mingle.
Yeah. Datingprisoners.com. Oh, okay. Well. Well, here's one that I'm. It's sad that I stopped scrolling to read this. Womenbehindbars.com.
Oh god, make an account, Matt. Make an account.
No.
But you could find the one that's the one.
No thanks. And then finally, CanadianInmatesConnect.com.
You like felons, eh?
Yeah. I'm in jail for a Class A misdemeanor.
What kind of crimes do Canadians commit, really? I mean,
no.
I'm in for jaywalking. That's a serious offense.
Oh, God. So, yeah. Enjoy those sites, guys. And
everyone here is, like, looking for spoilers for that movie. And they're just like, they're
talking about fucking prisoners.
What the hell?
Okay, so that's our review of...
Extremely wicked, yes. Shockingly evil, and vile.
Yes. It is available on Netflix. Check it out and let us know what you thought.
Yeah. Let us know who's right.
Yes. And
either Matt
why
or
it's
I.
Me. So...
What'd you say?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
What did you say?
I said, and why it's me.
Oh.
That's right. So... Okay. We're going to round out with Potpourri, which this is going to take a special Potpourri section because we have continued our TV show swap project called LOSTPoint.
Yes.
Where one of Kyrsten's favorite shows is Flashpoint, the Canadian SWAT team police
drama.
Procedural drama. And she's introducing that to me an episode at a time, and I am introducing her to the majesty that is Lost, one of my favorite shows of all time. Which is about a group of very pretty people.
We know what it's about because you've probably talked about it enough.
Yeah, it's so great. So today we're still in season 1 of both shows, and we watched episodes 4 and 5 of both shows. So let's talk about Flashpoint first.
Okay.
So we watched, hang on. Okay. We watched Asking for Flowers, season 1, episode 4, and Who's George, season 1, episode 5.
Yeah.
So
what'd you think? First impressions.
So my first impressions are, it's been a while since we've watched them, so it's like, I kind of rediscovering like, oh, this is why I enjoyed these episodes, or like the show when we watched them. Really, what stood out to me in these episodes, and I probably talked about it before, but it's a very gorgeous show.
Yeah. Like very well shot.
Yeah. Like the momentum of like the SRU team arriving at a scene is like the camera is like gliding through like a parking lot or whatever, and when you see the vans like stop and everything, but also like just the establishing shots of, do they film in Toronto or Vancouver?
Yeah, Toronto.
Yeah, it's just
they film on site.
Yeah, it's like just like crane shots of just like
it's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, and like part of that is just it's a beautiful city, and then another part of it is like you don't like shows like this are usually like LA or New York, and like kind of sick of it. So just seeing this like
something different,
mystical land,
the mystical land of Canada,
mystical land of
mystical Canada land.
Yes, where you can write to any inmate there. It's just beautiful, and like you said when we were watching Who's George, well, basically, okay, Asking for Flowers is, didn't we do this? Like we were describing the episodes, like
yes,
okay,
yeah.
So the episode, the first episode we watched 2 each. The first episode was a woman whose younger sister has been physically abused continuously by her police officer husband, and she finally can't take it anymore and decides to do something drastic and takes his gun and lures him onto his boat with his thumb face. And
he had a thumb face.
He did. He was a very peculiar looking gentleman.
Thumb thing wicked. This way come.
Oh God. And then that's like that's what happens. God. Are you laughing about something this wicked this way comes? Are you crying? I'm glad that you liked the joke that you made. Do you need water?
Keep going.
Okay.
Oh God, that was good.
So.
That was so good.
Oh wow. All right. So the SRU goes to the boat, and oh my, this is the worst podcast ever.
Sorry, everybody.
You laughing, me yawning, you coughing. Like, oh my God. So anyway.
Are you not entertained? And they're like, no, we're not.
No, we're not.
Not quality entertainment right here.
So anyway, so the SRU has to rescue them, and
the twist is they're under the assumption that she is crazy.
Yeah, because
she's a crazy woman with a gun. Yeah, he's planted that seed in everyone in his life, in their head.
Yeah.
That his wife's sister is nuts.
Right.
And so they go in thinking, we've got to stop her from killing this good cop.
Yeah.
And then they find out, it all comes out that...
I love the way that it's, like, it plays out, because they do something tactically, and it's just, it is such a great payoff for it, because, like, he's a fucking monster.
He's a douche,
in the episode. And just the way it pays,
it's really good. It's rewarding.
Yeah. By the way, Flashpoint is available on Amazon Prime and CBS All Access, I think. So yeah, that was a good episode. I liked just the variety of it, like, because like up until this point, and granted it's the 4th episode, but like they've done a lot of varied locations. Like this episode took place on a boat, like the actual like SRU part took place on a boat, and in its natural habitat.
Yes, the water.
The water. And they use some interesting technology and stuff.
Yeah,
and
the parabolic mic and all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. They've shot. They had an episode in a hospital. They had one in a high-rise loft.
Yep.
And the other one in the courtyard of a
business
district.
Yeah.
They're great about using their locations.
And again, since it's Canada, it's like stuff that I don't usually see, or it's locations that I don't usually see in TV and film, or if I do, they are filming it for the U.S. Like it's taking place in the U.S. So it's like there's that mental kind of weird thing. So the next episode we watched was Who's George?
I was thinking of my joke.
Oh my god.
It cracked me up.
Well,
Who's George?
I'm so glad that one of us is laughing. And I'm including all of the listeners.
You guys don't know what you're missing.
You do. So Who's George is about a bank robbery that's taking place that has one of the bank tellers as the worst person to have in a bank robbery scenario.
Yeah. Robbery!
Yeah. Like, okay. I legitimately, was like, okay, come on. Like, what the fuck? I had two thoughts when the robbery's taking place. So the one thought is that, this guy has infiltrated the bank and quietly held the bank manager at gunpoint. And he instructs her to go and get the money for him.
Yeah, no fuss, no muss. No one gets hurt. He gets his money, he leaves.
Yes. He has instructed her to do this. So she goes down and she, signals to her employees, robbery, help, danger.
The thing is, she doesn't at first. She's going to get the money. And then the woman's like, oh, can I go get that form thing from your office? And she's like, no.
Right.
Because she doesn't want her going up there because the robber is in her office. And she's like, and so the teller's like, no, I can't. She's like, well, I can send someone else if you don't want me in your office. And so she has to tell her, don't go upstairs, danger.
Right.
And she's trying to be subtle. She doesn't want, they say when the SRU gets on scene that the bank managers are trained.
Right.
Not to pull the alarm, to give the robbers their money to try and keep everyone safe. And so that's what she's trying to do.
Yeah. And then fucking Wendy.
Yeah. Man, she makes good numbers, but she just, in a high pressure situation, she just folds.
Which I had two thoughts. One, that would suck to be in that position, in that position where bank robbery is taking place and I'm an employee of the bank, because if the manager were to signal to me in that subtle of a way, no way I would pick up on those signals.
Really? If she said, don't go upstairs, danger.
I would think, are you having a stroke? Okay, that's weird. And I just wouldn't think much of it. And then I would have that moment where it's
so dense.
I know. And then the next thing is okay, her screaming robbery and everything and pulling the alarm is that almost.
Well, she does look up and she sees the shadow of a person. So.
Yeah. But that almost took me out of the show just briefly, just because I feel even if you're panicking, it's not she's seeing the shadow of a figure and she's going off of the shadow of the figure and the kind of subtle intensity of the manager.
I will also say, keep it in context. There is in the episode, they think that he is this guy called the Monday.
Oh yes, that's right.
Monday morning robber or whatever they call him. But he's a guy he's pulled off 6 major heists, and in his last one, he killed 2 tellers. Yeah. So with that in your mind, you would want to get out of the building.
Putting that into context, that actually that's fair.
They think
I feel better about that.
He's, and he turns out not to be
right.
But they think he's this big time.
Yeah.
Bank
who
robber
just killed,
who kills in cold blood.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that. That's fair. Okay. I'm feeling better about that. But, like you said, and we've talked about this in past episodes, the one in the hospital in particular, the show does a really good job of making everyone sympathetic.
Yeah.
And being, because they're Canadians.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, it's like Greg Parker on the show says he's just having a bad day.
Right.
These are in most situations, these are normal people who have been pushed into very desperate situations.
Right. And
and I think this is a good example of that.
It's a really good example of this because we get both the assailant having his bad day and like going into detail, and it's like, not to spoil it, but like it's revealed something about his personal life is revealed that like taps into, like we've talked about this, you and I have, like that's like one of my deepest fears, like just like in general in life, like what's depicted in this episode is like that's something I don't like. I hope to never have that kind of experience in my life.
He's put in an impossible situation.
Yeah.
He's trying to get himself out of it.
Right.
And it's also simple, you know, she's made up to be like this bitch boss.
Right.
She's doing her job.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, they do a good job of portraying both sides of this, and there's no bad guy in this situation. I mean, there is a bad guy because there's a guy who robs a bank.
Well, yeah.
But, you know, it's, you know, how far would you go for someone that you love?
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. Or for $500,000. Yeah. Even if you knew 100%.
Shut up, stop!
Check out Patreon for what that is a callback to. And for more of Kyrsten coughing.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah. So yeah, a really good pair of episodes. We're now 5 episodes into the first season. The first season is like what, 12 episodes? 13?
I'm not sure off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's got to be close to that though.
Yeah. Flashpoint. So yeah, so that it's a strong start. Like these first 5 episodes have been pretty strong. Oh God, the first season's 9 episodes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
is that true? Yeah. 9 episodes, and then season 2 goes to 22.
What is the title of the 9th episode?
Oh, it's the one that you have been dying for me to watch. Planets Aligned.
No, that's not the last episode of the season though.
According to IMDb, it is.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Let's see. It aired September 18th, 2008.
That doesn't.
And then the next episode is... Oh! Okay, yeah. Okay, and the next episode is Season 2, Episode 1 that aired January 9th, 2009.
Oh, I must be getting my seasons mixed up, I guess.
Yeah, because Season 2 is 22 episodes, Season 3 is 13, Season 4 is 18, and then the last one is 13. Oh, that's interesting. The series finale has... On IMDb, user ratings are, you know... People rate it out of 10. The series finale has, part 1 has 9.0 and part 2 has 9.2.
They're good.
10. So that's good. So that's my take on Flashpoint. Oh,
season 1, episode 10. There are 10 episodes in season 1.
What's the name of
Eagle
episode
2.
10? It's not on IMDb. Oh, Eagle 2 is listed as season 2, episode 1.
We just showed each other our phones.
We're just showing each other. Well, let's look at Amazon Prime.
Oh, you know, it might have been like different airing in like.
Well, that's the thing, because that episode, Eagle 2, aired in January.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Yep, and
anyway, we're wasting a lot of time.
We are. Amazon Prime lists Planets Aligned as the season finale of season 1. So anyway, I enjoyed it. How'd you feel revisiting those episodes?
Good. It's such a good show, and I love like the little nuggets of personality you get from the characters.
Yeah. Like, and how it kind of ties into the episodes themselves. Like, in asking for flowers, the whole thing with, I don't know the characters' names yet. The one with the wife.
Wordy.
Yeah. Like how that comes into play is really affecting and good. Yep.
Yeah.
So Lost, episodes 4 and 5. Why don't you tell us your first impressions of them?
Yeah. So we watched Walkabout, which was a Locke-centric episode, and I think Locke is my favorite character. He's so mysterious and weird. And so we learned, not to go into spoilers, we learned a lot about him and who he was before, they ended up on the island. And it really just makes him more mysterious.
Yes.
But yeah, it was good. They good character development for him.
I know.
Yeah.
Spoilers, but we learn that there's boars on the island.
Oh, there are boars, and he hunts them. Yeah, that was totally badass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it. I'm a fan of Locke.
Nice. And yeah, we did say, I do remember that we said that when we finish the seasons, we'll do a spoiler discussion of each show. So
okay. Yeah, I don't want to reveal too much.
Yeah. Because it's like that. I mean, Lost is hard to talk about non-spoilers anyway. Because
everything is
based,
a spoiler.
Yeah.
But we also watched White Rabbit.
Yes.
Which was
White Sneakers.
White Sneakers, I think it should have been called. Where Jack is having sort of an internal crisis over being the main character of a show.
Right. That's just... Yeah. Okay. Sure.
he fails to save a woman who is drowning. And feels like he cannot be the leader of this group of people, but everyone is turning to him.
The thing is, not to cut you off, but the thing is,
but you're going to.
But I'm going to. The thing is, he's so used to being in a party of 5 that him being the leader
Jesus Christ.
is a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's struggling with that, and he's also maybe hallucinating his maybe dead dad, who's wearing these white sneakers for no reason, or maybe a reason.
It's all part of the mystery.
There's gotta be no reason for that.
I legitimately think that it's referenced at some point. Like, I think in the season finale they make a reference to it. Like, they explain it in
my
some
dad's
way.
lucky sneakers that he was going to be buried in. Going to be. Yeah, that whole twist, it's gotta come back.
Yeah. And it's so, okay, this is so interesting because, like, I know that there could maybe be a reference at some point, but I know that it's not like a groundbreaking, like, it's not like a big thing. But you're watching this for the first time, and, like, you are like the internet in 2004. Like,
I'm full of speculation and conspiracy.
Because that's what they did.
Yeah.
They're like, why is he wearing white sneakers? Why is this like this? And stuff like that. And it's just so interesting to hear this particular take. So, yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
Yeah. So did you like the episode?
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was good.
Nice.
Jack's not my favorite character.
Right.
But it's good to see, so, you know, how he got to be the way he is now.
Right.
And it was good. There was good furthering development of the plot with they ran out of water, or they're running out of water.
Right.
So they had to find a new source of water. Yeah, it was good. Some good Claire stuff, some good Charlie stuff, some good Sawyer stuff. So
Claire and Charlie.
They're all main characters, so.
Yes.
So.
Yes. That reminded me, just, this is a brief aside and we can wrap up after this, but, like, okay, it's a network TV show. Everyone's beautiful, even on a deserted island and everything. And it reminded me because, when I went and saw Endgame, beforehand, I rewatched Infinity War, and there's a scene in Infinity War where Captain America and Wanda, Vision, and Falcon come back to, like, they go to Rhodey at the Avengers, like, facility, and, like, he says, like, oh, you guys look like crap, and, like, it goes to them, and it's like, they're beautiful movie stars.
Yeah.
And it's like, I was like, that was one of the only times I'm like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves is in, like, a disaster scenario, everyone looks so good.
Right.
And, like their hair is washed. The women don't have any body hair.
Right.
You know? And, like, I'm definitely seeing that in Lost. It's like, at this point, they've been on the island for 4 or 5 days. So ladies should start getting stubble on their legs, and they're wearing short shorts and not a single hair. And it's like, and
it makes sense for, like, Shannon.
I get that it's Hollywood.
Yeah.
But I just can't suspend my disbelief.
Right. I can't inner wrist.
Skin,
yes. For reference, Kyrsten has suspend your disbelief.
It's a tattoo. It's a birthmark.
Yeah. It's a birthmark. It's really weird.
A tattoo on my wrist.
Yeah.
So I've referenced that a lot. I can't suspend my disbelief.
Yes. And I have thought about getting a Dark Tower tattoo in that same spot, but I don't know. I don't know. Should I do it? I don't know.
No, I think tattoos are tacky.
You have like
I know.
Like, oh my god. I don't know why that like that, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So anyway,
yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Good episodes.
Nice.
I am really enjoying watching it. It's something
Nice.
I've wanted to do. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we're 4 months into,
and we're 5
the,
episodes in.
Yeah, into the new year, and we're 5 episodes into each show. Have you formulated any theories or anything? Like, what do you think's going on with Jack's dad?
I don't know.
Is he hallucinating?
I don't know. I don't think he's really there. I think he's really dead. But I don't know what's up with his body.
Right.
And the hallucinations.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a scene, because I've watched this show countless times, but there's a scene where a coffin is demolished. I don't think that's too much of a spoiler for the episode. And this was legitimately the first time in all of my years of being a Lost fan that I legitimately thought, like, they could have used that for a bed. Like, I made that joke, but it's also, because it's kind of fucked up, like, oh, sleeping in a coffin when you're a castaway, but it's also like,
what else?
What else? Like, that's the
it's
only...
that or the sand.
Yeah. Like, that would have legitimately been a nice, like,
Claire could have, Claire could have, she's pregnant, you know?
With the baby.
The little baby.
The little baby.
Pregnant with a little baby.
Okay, let's get dinner. I'm starting to get hungry.
It's like 10 o'clock.
It is. Do you still want to get food?
Yeah, let's get food.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, well, this was fun.
This
welcome
was something.
to... Yeah.
Remember when I made that joke and it killed? Something. Oh my god. It's so funny.
I liked check yourself before you wreck yourself, but that's fine, whatever.
Mine was better. Oh man.
Okay, anyway,
Good stuff.
this has been the latest episode
This has
of
been
The
a
Obsessive
gift
Viewer.
for you, the listeners.
For more of this nonsense, support us on Patreon. You'll get access to our ridiculous little pre-roll recording that we did. Yeah, where again, Kyrsten changed the parameters of a hypothetical situation
To fit myself into them.
Yeah, well, that's not how it works. Anyway, also, if you want to support us in other ways, just like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm at Obsessive Viewer. Kyrsten?
I am at burger_lurker.
Yes, and also follow Tiny at Obsessive Tiny, Mike at I am Mike White, and other recurring co-host Fecus at RA Fecus, although he prefers Instagram. So anyway, that'll do it for this episode. I don't know what we're doing next time. It's all out of whack because this
It's out of my hands.
It's out of my hands. Like, we'll probably... I don't know, but yeah, we'll have a lot of stuff. So,
Life is in shambles.
I know, it really is. Check out my other podcasts, Tower Junkies and Anthology. I'm reviewing The Twilight Zone, so check that out. That'll do it. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you next
if
time.
you made it this far, good job.
Right. All right, see you guys next time. And now, here's a short clip from our Patreon exclusive RSS feed. To hear the full clip and more exclusive Patreon content, go to patreon.com/obsessiveviewer and become a patron at the minimum rate of $1 per month. Thank you and enjoy. You have your pick of any product in existence that you could have a lifetime supply of.
Oh.
What would that be? I think I just thought of mine. I think, yeah.
It's tough. I'm trying to think of something. Gas.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
For my car.
Yeah. Oh, that would be so great.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
Gas is so expensive.
It
and
is.
it's just going to get more expensive because we're using it all.
Exactly. And it's, yeah.
I got a big old Jeep that I got to fuel up. And
Right. I got my stupid charger that I don't have a radio and I
Yeah,
just have a
heated
Bluetooth.
seats.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Bluetooth. Although sometimes the heated seats do not work. Yeah.
Oh,
so
no. You got to get rid of that car.
I know.
That was like the only good thing about it. It's the heated seat.
Hey.
What? I'm serious.
Very partial to that car.
I'm serious.
It's my first new car that I ever bought. Like 12 years ago.
Okay.
The Obsessive Viewer podcast is edited and produced by Matt Hurt and presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. For a full archive of our episodes, go to ObsessiveViewer.com/OV archive. You can also like our Facebook page and join the OV Facebook group at Facebook.com/TheObsessiveViewer. And follow us on Twitter at ObsessiveViewer and at ObsessiveTiny. And follow our recurring co-hosts at I am Mike White, that's me, at R.A. Feckus, and at Burger_Lurker. If you enjoy the show, please take a couple minutes to leave us a rating and a quick review on Apple Podcasts. This is the easiest way to support what we do, and all it costs is a little bit of your time. If you'd like to donate to the podcast, you can make a PayPal donation at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or support us on Patreon for recurring donations and access to commentary tracks and B-roll audio recorded exclusively for patrons at patreon.com/obsessiveviewer. Every donation goes toward paying the fees to keep the podcast running and is greatly appreciated. For official Obsessive Viewer merch, including shirts, mugs, phone cases, and more, visit our TeePublic store. You can find a link to the store in the show notes of this episode and at obsessiveviewer.com/donate. Or you can simply search for Obsessive Viewer at teepublic.com, T-E-E, public.com. For information about our annual live event showcasing short horror films from local filmmakers, check out shocktoberInIrvington.com. And for an archive of all our events, as well as news about potential future events, head over to obsessiveviewer.com/live. For more podcast content, you can find Anthology, Matt's solo podcast covering The Twilight Zone and other classic and contemporary science fiction anthology TV shows at anthologypod.com and on Twitter at OVAnthologyPod. You can also find Tower Junkies, a podcast where Matt and Tiny share their love of all things Stephen King and his magnum opus, The Dark Tower series, at towerjunkiespod.com and at towerjunkiespod on Twitter. And finally, check out The Secular Perspective, Tiny's side project podcast, which tackles current events and life's big questions from the perspective of secular hosts Chad and Amanda at thesecularperspective.com. The theme music for The Obsessive Viewer comes courtesy of the band Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make. Additional bumper music is provided courtesy of As Good As It Gets, which can be found at facebook.com/asgoodasitgetsband. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Kitty!